tried to immediately kicks us off. So
yeah, it might be a bug. I still haven't reset my computer. But anyway, we are going to be talking about Texas governor, which is Greg Abbott, helps illegals get into the United States.
Yeah, and what is going on? So this was something covered by the Texas scorecard, and
we are going to be, before we get started here, real quick, just wanted to say this, we are going to be covering some subjects about the border in a couple videos. So before we get into this, I just wanted to say, tomorrow morning we are going to be releasing a watch-along video with this documentary with this really, really legit, awesome Texas sheriff. And he goes into so much detail about the border.
The border issue is incredibly complex,
very
complicated, convoluted, and it's certainly which is what makes what I want to share with y'all even more bizarre. This is very weird. Let me get.
So all you have to do is go over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Click it.
We're getting used to our technology here, y'all.
Yep.
So here's the article. This is brought to you by Texas Scorecard. And then
It's right there.
I'm going to zoom in on this so that I can see it a little bit better.
Other way. There you go.
As Texas border towns prepare for the possible removal of Title 42, Governor Greg Abbott says Texas is providing much needed relief to communities overwhelmed by President Biden's open border policies by busing illegals into the United States. Our illustrious governor tweeted, as of today, Texas has bused over 15,000 migrants to sanctuary cities, over 8,600 to D.C., over 4,500 to New York City, over 1,500 to Chicago, and over 520 to Philadelphia. Texas is providing much-needed relief to communities overwhelmed by President Biden's open border policies. Well, first off, this partisan hack junk, and this is all about President Biden. I mean, this border issue has been an incredibly long-standing issue that has spanned the last since Texas has become a state. Basically, this has been an issue, and it really comes down to Texas taking responsibility for its own border and just doing something about it. Now, I realize that the federal government can help or hurt the scenario, but the insanity part of all this is, one, Abbott is twisting this like this is doing something good and profitable, right? When it's literally not doing anything. But what's more, if you really see the border crisis as a crisis and a problem and people coming into this country illegally, what he is doing is he is further aiding, abetting, and facilitating their entrance into the country by driving them 1,500 to 2,000 miles deeper into the country, so that they can disappear into the shadows. And it makes no sense on any level. It lacks all logic, ration, and reason. Once again, he is a politician. So, I mean, who needs logical, ration, and reason? And this is providing much needed relief. This isn't doing anything other than exacerbating the problem, making this supposedly painting this as some partisan thing. One, this is a very complex, complicated, just like the wall. The border wall is a complicated issue. And it's not this easy and cut and dry thing.
No.
And it's very, and then once again, then this is being piggybacked onto this whole Title 42 thing. Like Title 42 has even been some kind of solution for this border issue. And now that this is going away, they're acting like this is going to create an even greater problem. I don't know if the problem can be any worse. I mean, Title 42, a common reference. And you can watch all the different, you can watch the lame stream that just posted on CBS or whatever, probably about an hour ago, and they'll show you how the Texas National Guard has been called out, and they put down all this razor wire. But the reality of that, it's dog and pony show. It's for looks. It's for optics. It's for that mainstream, lamestream news, and it's this partisan thing and tit for tat and all this nonsense, stupid nonsense, and it's really annoying when people are like, "Yeah, go get them," you know. Title 42, a common reference to the March 2020 pandemic health order that Trump administration issued to quickly expel illegal border crossers, is currently under review by the U.S. Supreme Court and is set to expire unless the court intervenes.
Wednesday.
This crisis is about to blow wide open Texans for strong borders, President Chris Russo told Texas Scorecard. Abbott's busing scheme has delivered more than 15,000 illegal aliens to cities such as D.C., New York City, Philly, and Chicago, a mere drop in the bucket compared to the hundreds of thousands who have entered Texas illegally in the past 2 years, leaving devastation in their wake. Border security activists are calling for border action by Abbott with the Alliance for Safe Texas. President Sheena Rodriguez strongly worded letters and social media posts will not save Texas. The time for bold, unprecedented executive action from our state government officials is now. Why wouldn't state government officials protect and defend their state? And you just want to play some patsy and blame it on this administration or that administration, and then when it's your red administration, like, oh, thanks, you guys are doing a great job, and then when Biden's doing it, then obviously it's terrible.
It's a bad job.
It's partisan, stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
And we're busing people further into the country to create relief. We're busing in 1/10 of 1/1000th of 1%. Like, you know, talk about a dog and pony show. 41 Texas counties have declared an invasion on the Texas-Mexico border and urge Abbott to repel the ongoing invasion. Kinney, Goliad, Terrell, Parker Wise, Edwards, Atacosa, Presidio, Tyler, Live Oak, Rockwall, Johnson, Wilson, Hardin, Chambers, Ellis, Orange, Liberty, Throckmorton, Madison, Jasper, Van Zant, Wichita, Clay, Montauk, Hood, Wharton, Burnett, Collin, McMullen, Hamilton, Lavaca, Ector, Leon, Navarro, Waller, Fannin, Harrison, and Shackelford. Securing the border and protecting Texans is one of 8 GOP legislative priorities for the upcoming session. The citizens can contact their elected officials to request further action. I encourage you, if you are a Texan, to follow Texas Scorecard. They cover a lot of really good stuff. They expose a lot of chicanery and stuff. Texas Scorecard was one of the original agencies that exposed the Tractor Supply Waco event funding and all that stuff. So hats off to Texas Scorecard. They're talking about child trafficking and other things that people aren't talking about. They're talking about all this drag show, grooming, transhumanism, trans junk, postmodern, post-truth, deconstruction of humanity, and to rebuild us in the image of the beast and into the transhumanist, technocratic, cloud-dwelling ectomorph. And then all of our babies will be born in sanitary incubators. Crazy. So
yeah, definitely be tuning in tomorrow morning for our watch-along video with this documentary of, well, and now there's 90 people on here, so I should already say it again, but me and Dad are going to be making a reaction video to this documentary that this gentleman did with a one of the best Texas sheriffs. I mean, this guy's pretty stinking legit.
How come when you point out what's going on and then you have people, you guys are a bit late to what's going on, like we just realized that the border was an issue, so we wanted to make it.
I mean,
you guys are a bit late for what's going on. Oh, thank you, all-seeing Oracle. Please embellish us with your omniscient wisdom and explain to us how this has been going on. That's exactly what I said, that this has been an issue. So
since Texas,
if you do want to comment, at least listen. But if you just want to hear,
but of course, it's been happening forever. So
yeah, it's been happening for an incredibly long time.
And
the debacle.
It's been kind of popping up more and more and more, and it's just kind of got into our radar, and we're like, well, we probably should start covering it and talking about it. What is our best flavor of coffee? Probably
hazelnut.
Hazelnut, or you're making me crazy.
I'm a huge hazelnut fan, and our hazelnut is spectacular.
So, also, real quick, it's linked in the description down below. I made up 7 limited edition candle, cozy mug candles. So anyway, us boys made them up with our top smelling scents. There's only 7 of them, and I was like, I think that would be a pretty neat thing to do, and they're like legit mugs.
The other thing I want to say about Abbott, he was asked to renounce the World Economic Forum. He was approached publicly, and it's on video, and I think it was either Alex Stein or Cassidy Campbell, and he absolutely, unequivocally would not renounce the World Economic Forum, and I am relatively convinced that he's absolutely a Weffer New World Order guy, and he's in their pockets. And I do know what he's been doing with this whole power grid thing. You know, he made some deal with the Biden administration last time. He promised that they were going to harden the grid, and I know he took money from a natural gas. He took $1 million from a natural gas company to overlook the fact, they recategorized them as not quintessential infrastructure, so they wouldn't have to harden. So don't be surprised if the grid craps on us again, and it will be by design, and it will be thanks to Wheels. It'll be thanks to Greg. Thanks, Greg. And somebody needs to hold Greg accountable.
Yeah, for real.
And I know Don Huffines keeps putting the juice to him.
Well, that's good.
But, and for all Greg's better than Beto, and he may or may not be, but he's still kind of not conservative, and he's still kind of terrible on most things.
Yeah,
and he's
because,
very two-faced, and he doesn't care for Texans or the state. He's kind of disgusting, really.
Hence why there's, drag shows in our state.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like 16 of them. You can check out the Texas scorecard for a 16 list of that nonsense. It's terrible. And these traveling drag shows, these people don't even live down here. They're bussing them in, and this is all part of how they do what they do. All funded by Soros and Tractor Supply. Why Tractor Supply feels the need to participate?
That's so random.
And if I get one more could you provide us with proof that Tractor Supply has sponsored it since 2017.
Come on, y'all.
They had a booth there. That crazy, nasty junk was going on, and they were there. All right, and they sponsored it, and they're on the flyers as a
sponsor,
one of the larger sponsors, and they sponsored one in Franklinville, Tennessee.
And guess who's not on there? Like a name like Walmart or Amazon or fill in the blank.
Well, SpaceX was on there.
Thanks,
Elon.
SpaceX was
thanks for aiding and abetting in this self-destruction. And Elon will warn about population collapse, and then he funds that trash.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's a Numpty Dumpty.
Mm-hmm.
But we will be releasing this watch-along documentary about the border. It's going to have an enormous amount of very interesting facts, and it'll explain the complexities of the issue. And
That video should be posting around 10 or 11 tomorrow a.m. Central Standard Time. I saw somebody was asking what time that video might post. So, just before lunchtime.
We are definitely preparing for the cold snap.
Yes.
And we're pretty much set. You know, it's not going to be. The projection is not that bad because it's only a 3-day snap with only one consistent day below freezing. When it becomes an issue, when freezing becomes an issue, it's when 3 or more days are below freezing.
Yeah.
You start having major problems.
Problems.
This snap doesn't look that bad.
But we'll see.
But we'll see. And that, you know, that's just the current projection, and those projections change in real time. And for somebody that's growing lots of fruit trees, you know, you always are kind of hoping, oh, I hope it actually does this, and then, you know, 10 degrees one way or the other is bad news. So.
What are you doing to keep your citrus trees from freezing? Well, we build a greenhouse, and we actually don't have citrus trees.
But now that we have a greenhouse, we will have citrus trees.
Exactly.
But yeah, currently we are not. We only raise certain fruit trees that are right on the border of our zone. I have some more tropical type mulberries, but there's different ways to harden them, and also we try to create microclimates by the way that we intensively plant the trees. So we have an overstory and an understory, and it just creates that type of biodiversity. And then in addition, with running the ducks and the chickens to try to create more heat. Just to create our own microclimate, to try to get away with maybe pushing our zone.
Yeah, and just wanted to shout this out real quick, shameless plug. Food Force in the box. Everybody's been loving these. They've been selling like hotcakes, y'all. If you're not aware of it, it comes with fig, mulberry, thornless blackberry, peach, pear, cuttings, 3 of each. And you can start your own food forest and start investing in the ground.
Everybody asks how cold hardy these are.
Yeah.
All of these trees have survived Snowmageddon.
Yeah, -5.
They've survived deep freeze.
Yep.
These are from mature trees. The fig cuttings and the blackberry cuttings could fruit the first year if you get them
all
rooted.
day long.
And the peach cuttings and the mulberry cuttings will mulberry cuttings can fruit the first year. The peach cuttings would take 2 to 3 years to fruit, but it's coming off a mature tree that is actively fruiting. Really,
and you'll get the box. It'll have a QR code on it, and then it'll send you right to a playlist that'll show you how to plant them all and all that type of neat stuff. And we have roughly around 400 fruit trees on around a little less than 2 acres or so.
And another commonly asked question is these are cuttings. These are not trees. Okay?
Exactly.
So these are tree cuttings. So you have to root them.
Yes.
And then once you root them, you have to uppot them. You have to, once they have roots, then they're a baby tree. Then they grow. Then they fruit. So that's and this is all part of learning the art and the artisan and the science behind growing food and propagating. And this is part of what our agrarian ancestors were much more familiar with. And that's why I like having the playlist. So our playlist on how to root these is there's people do it lots of different ways. And so you can watch all the different styles and pick your own method or what works for you, or try it a couple, 2, 3 different ways and do what works best for you. And it has the audio and the video, the audio visual format, so that you can really absorb it and watch it. And you're not. I really hate with certain technical things, like for example our greenhouse, trying to read the visual instructions. But when you can get so much more out of a video and say, oh, I wonder what he did there. Well, if they just have a time lapse video, oh, I see what he did there. I can do that. So I'm a visual learner, and all of those videos are different methods that I've tried, and I've had different successes, different years. So it's really just a try, fail, adjust, try, fail, adjust. Some people always have 100% success. I don't know those people, but I always have a better than 50% success. But there's lots of different ways to do it, and lots of different methods, and you fine tune it and you get better at it.
So anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all will have a blessed rest of your evening, night, day, morning, whenever you're watching this. For y'all that are live, hopefully y'all will have a good evening, and we'll see y'all right back here at the Texas Boys tomorrow morning with a really awesome video. So